I spoke to a lot of my watch friends. I've been in the industry a long time. Red bar communities like yours that are growing. And then I went on Reddit. And what I saw was a whole mess of never being answered. And it's not about the fact that they weren't answered for a particular problem on that particular post. One guy could say, oh, my watch is broken and I'm having a hard time getting an email back. So I just jumped in there.
Welcome to Due Time Presents The Watchers. I'm your host, Rod Dye, aka Rod the Watcher. I'm here with the one, the only, Real the Watcher. How you doing today, my guy? Man. It's a great day.
Good. It's a beautiful day here in Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, yes. And today we have a very special guest on a very special day. We have Vice President of the Americas for Christopher Ward, Mr. Michael Pearson. How you doing today?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Yes, glad to have you. Glad to have you. First time in Columbus?
It's been a long time. It's been about 15 years,
okay.
But the city's changed a lot, but it's good to be back in the Midwest. I lived in the Midwest for about a decade, so
okay.
I love being back here.
Nice. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. Hope your time here has been great. And man, so just a little background, a little context. So we're actually hosting our first Jump Hour. So Due Time Presents Jump Hour Volume 1, powered by Christopher Ward. So Mike's been gracious enough to come out and bring some heaters with him. So we'll definitely get into those. But man, before we begin, we always got to start with what's, on the wrist. So we allow our guest of honor to, bring us home. So I'll go first. Yes. So what I'm wearing today is the Christopher Ward True GMT. And this is a heater, and I appreciate Mike for doing for working his magic to make sure, I got this in hand as soon as possible. But I mean, amazing. I'd seen it online.
It took a long time to make that one as well to get that
going. And you can tell, like, once you have it on wrist, 5 days of power reserve, GMT hand, with the coordinates.
True GMT, right?
True GMT. I'm sorry.
GMT.
I got to get the facts right.
I think one of 11 brands. You got to give us a little bit.
Sorry about that. So, True GMT. Yes. Exhibition case back. Like it's great. So
really suits you. It's good to see the black dial as well. The only sample I'd had is the silver.
Okay.
And so these are now starting to get delivered. So it's good to see them in the metal and see them out there. But it looks great on you.
Yes. Thank you. It's great to know people like that. Yes.
You officially know a guy.
Absolutely. I know a guy. The guy. How about you, Rio?
So I have on the Furlan Mari Sabia Rosa today. Went great with the cream shirt. But I don't know, man. I think I see something on that table.
Oh.
Yeah.
They might be calling me, man. We'll get to it in a minute. But
yeah.
Yep, Furlan Mari Sabia
The gold
Rosa.
does look good on you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We don't do gold at Christopher Ward.
That was one of my questions.
That was going to be his question.
Answer for you.
Not yet. Yeah. Not yet. At least not yet. But
not yet. No.
Mike, bring us home. What's on wrist?
Sure. I've got the Pasadena Blue Loco. 6 days of in-house power. It came out just over a year ago.
6 days.
Originally, it was called the Open Balance because the free sprung balance wheel, which we've developed as well. I think when you're looking at how a watch is made, when you all see that balance spring, and you look at it in the case back, but you see it on the dial, you see the architecture of the case. For me, that kind of shows how we've grown up, how we're maturing as a brand.
Absolutely.
And the reason why that 6 days of power can be accurate is because of what's in there. The heartbeat is pure.
Yes.
So yeah, very, very proud of it. It's a great color too.
What I love about the dial of that watch is that you see it and you see how beautiful it is, but it's literally hiding something else that's beautiful.
Yeah. The
case back. I love the reverse side. Like when you look at the case back, the mechanics of it, that could be the front of a watch too. That's gonna be my Christopher Ward collaboration watch. We're gonna do the reverse Loco.
Oh, we're gonna go straight there for it.
Yeah, go straight to it.
I'm going straight to it.
This is the dial. This is still movement. That's the thing as well, right? There's so much that Christopher Ward designers can do in Switzerland and the designers in the UK, how they put things together. But this is a bit of magic. So yeah, we saw this develop over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But when I saw this color, this prototype, I'd never seen a watch like it, and I've had 20 years in the industry, especially not for less than $6,000. So yeah, we're really proud to have launched this.
Yes.
I've got the white one in front as well, which is a bit of a favorite. But out of the 4 colors, there's not been one standout. Because when you buy into any of our watches, what you wear, what you're wearing, I think it's about what suits you, what's your personality. And so we've tried to lean into sports, luxury, and you do you.
When you are traveling the world, traveling the United States, you're like the face of Christopher Ward. in the United States.
I think it's more the mouth.
Yeah, well, but how does that feel? Like, how does that feel? Because you guys like are skyrocketing right now. You know, it's like, to me, I would call it, you know, top 2 or 3 hottest brands building, and it's on fire. But how does it feel? Because I feel like, you know, you've done a great job balancing education, entertainment, right? But also letting people feel like they're a part of a community. How does that feel for you to be like one of the faces of the brand?
I'm very proud, for one, because I always say it's about Mike France and Peter Ellis, the 2 of the 3 founders. When Mike first approached me, I said no for the longest time, because I'd been with another couple of brands before, and that felt very much the DNA that I had within me. And the other brand that I was with was British as well. So you kind of think that's your thing. That's my British brand. That's my moment. You move on. And when I saw Mike working alongside the Christopher Ward team, you saw how the crowd reacted to him and to them and to the watches. And then I held one. You see there's some real power within it. And so when Mike asked again, and I got to know him a bit closer, you know, you have to kind of understand the man to understand the brand in my eyes. I was very proud that I took the role, but more than anything, it's been quite humbling, because I've been doing this job, I've been in this type of role of growing brands for almost 2 decades. And so this feels like, after all the years and all the brands that I've grown, it's kind of like that was the training ground to what we're doing today. So the weird thing with Christopher Ward is I don't come to Columbus to go to find the retail partner. I come to find the voices and the faces of the community to help tell our story. And I've done that across the whole of the country, in Canada as well. And, you know, we've done a lot in the almost 3 years I've been with the brand, but it's only just starting in my eyes. And that's kind of why, when I say proud and humbling, I also know that there's a long way to go. But yeah, I'm really happy. It's been good.
Yeah. I know one of the reasons that we wanted to partner with Christopher Ward for this event and ultimately have you on the show as well is because, I mean, we're big fans of Christopher Ward, and we understand like the value that you get, you know, with the Christopher Ward watch. We'll allow you to, you know, talk about the value proposition for the brand. Like I said, we talked about this off camera, but it really punches above its weight class. You know, like every watch and the innovation, you see the growth. You know, obviously we've been on our journey for, you know, approaching a couple of years now. And I feel like we've grown with Christopher Ward during our time, honestly. Like, it's been amazing. And it's important, you know, to, you know, expose the community to brands that, you know, don't necessarily have a presence here, you know, in Columbus, but love watches as well. And for you, what was it about, you know, Christopher Ward that made you say, you know, okay, like I want to align myself, you know, with this brand? You worked for a number of brands. You spoke about, you know, the leadership, you know, rolling their sleeves up. But if you could just kind of detail, you know, what was it about, you know, Christopher Ward for you?
I talked about Mike, and I saw him, how he worked. And, you know, you hover around certain tables. You're like, oh, they're making some noise.
Yeah.
But you pick one up, and it was the bronze Trident, which was at the time just over $1,000. And it's one of the first watches I owned of Christopher Ward's. And if you talk about Loco and True GMT and Bel Canto, which for me is the catalyst, but if you can understand the core of the brand, and I can have it next to any brand in any showroom or any environment like we'll have tonight, I think that's the measure of the brand. And so for me, when I picked up that first watch, and I looked at a lady called Olivia who works for the brand, she's been there for, I think, 13, 14 years. And I went, hold on, tell me again, you know, the power of 3, and how did you do this? I mean, I've been in the industry for so long, and this would, in any other market, be a $5,000, $6,000 watch. And if you were in a normal retail environment, you would pay that because of the quality and the people behind the counter making you incorrectly fall in love with every detail that's in there.
Yes.
Christopher Ward, for all those years before I joined, were very much the website, then social media, and then you'd rely on podcasts and bloggers and writers and TikTokers. And then out of nowhere, it was in my hand, and it was a light bulb. And I was like, every single thing that I've seen or heard, or, you know, you hear hype, but then I felt like it had a real power to it. So it wasn't a hype piece. It was just a really good piece that's talked about a lot. And I was like, I can actually help here.
Christopher Ward is getting too big for their britches. They're getting very expensive. They're not the value proposition that they once were anymore. People are saying that to me, and it's not a lot. Let's be clear. The people who kind of know and understand that goes behind R&D and the research and development that goes into these watches that you guys are doing, they understand. But for those who don't, what do you say to that statement?
I come at it from a very, very open-handed point of view. I'll kind of go into the weeds of where you can find those comments massively, which is Reddit, right? We've got our own social medias, we've got all sorts of things. Reddit is a place where a conversation can snowball for good, or it can snowball for bad. And I think that a lot of those conversations come from a place of good, because they are used to seeing certain collective parts of the Christopher Ward collector group saw what Christopher Ward used to be, which were $300, $400, $500 watches. And I say this with love to what they were. They were $300, $400, $500 watches, right? What we've tried to do is keep, as much as we've grown, we've never pigeonholed ourselves as a dive brand or an in-house movement brand, or, Bel Canto is not Christopher Ward. We are not that one-trick pony. What we can do is stretch. So if you take, for example, a couple of years ago, we came out with the 12X. That was our in-house 5-day power reserve. That was also the first time we've done a big watch since Bel Canto. And so a lot of people who had discovered Christopher Ward, oh, you guys are making noise because of the Bel Canto. They didn't realize that Trident, Sealanders, and 12s were the bread and butter of what we were.
Yeah.
When 12X came out, it was 2 weeks after the Valor came out. And that was an ETA chronometer certified quartz movement, which cost $800. If you can see that watch come out and then the 12X for $5,000, you can understand how much we want to stretch.
Yes.
All I ask is you kind of look at the line that we use, which is do your research. We always invite people to come onto the website, come onto what we're doing and say, you can find the last watch or you can look forward to the next watch, but see our whole body of work. If you wanted to break down what Christopher Ward cost, we're under $2,000. If you wanted to see for me what's the best of us, I wear a $1,300 bronze Trident most days, even though I'm wearing this.
Yeah.
But when you look at this and then you look at what goes into it, look at what the next brand is that has a 6-day in-house manual wind power reserve with its own free-sprung balance wheel. We are allowed to stretch and be better, but we do not have to keep ourselves in a box.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No, that's
You asked the real.
Yes.
great answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I really mean it. I mean, we've got a lot of these speculative conversations. This watch came out, the pool dive was second. And you can see people say, I hate it. Great. Move on. You know what I mean? Or give us a chance to show it. Or come along to one of these events and hold it and feel the quality.
Yes.
And I think that's why the role that I've got now and the things that I'm trying to do with the brand in the showrooms or the events that we're doing is to get people to go, actually, for $1,400, for a ceramic bezel, ceramic shroud, a lot of humor, a lot of fun, no one's doing this, actually that's all right. But if you don't like it, there's no need to hate on it. Just see what else we've got, because this isn't the brand, this is a part of the brand.
Absolutely.
And and what you just touched on is important, because you see a lot of your favorite brands, that's built around one watch, one icon, but that also causes that causes a bottleneck for the clients as well, especially when they can't get their hands on said watch. But with Christopher Ward, I mean, there's a variety. As I like to say, there's so many flavors. There's so many choices. And if you're not a dive watch person, that's fine. You have the Bel Canto. If you don't want the Bel Canto, that's fine. Okay, look at the Moon Phase. There's the Sealander. There's the True GMT.
He gonna plug his watch.
Yeah. So like I said, we love the brand. I want to ask you, from your vantage point, obviously you've been with the brand for some years now. What would you like to see, from Christopher Ward? Going
really?
forward? You guys are already, like I said, you guys are on fire.
So this is me speaking to the board back in
Speaking to the board,
You can
yes.
talk to them.
Yes.
They know that I think that the watches themselves are the best of us. Like when you look at a brand's growth, the brand is sometimes bigger than the company. And what you do when the brand grows, like when Bel Canto came out, we sold 2 years worth of stock in 2 days and hadn't built any, right? We didn't, each of those 2 colors should have taken a year to sell in our head, and they took hours. So you have to grow up, you've got to move on from that. I think for me, we're at that stage now that the collection is so strong, Sealander Trident 12, bespoke, we've got in-house modules, in-house movements. The next bit is to grow the footprint, of course, and that starts with people. And so I've got a team of 12 people now in the US, and the US is Christopher Ward's biggest market. I need more people to help me out, because I want to do this all over the country in every state, not just the big cities. I want to come to Detroit and Columbus. I want to go to Denver's. I don't just need to do New York, LA, and South Florida.
Yeah, of course.
So people always matter. And the big thing that's in that kind of realm is that I need customer service, not because we're bad at it. And there's going to be, going to your question about how people might see a brand.
Yeah.
Customer service is about people as well, because you can email But sometimes getting on the phone and get someone to get back to you quickly just means that you've been heard. And so for me, the next step for Christopher Ward is to be even better at that. I think for the money, there's not too many brands that can touch us, but I do know we've got to grow around that. So people are what matter.
When you're growing fast like that,
Yeah.
I mean, people don't look at the quality control part of it.
That bit's fine, because that's in Switzerland. It's the front of house.
The front of the house, okay.
So in Switzerland, I think as a company in the UK and in Switzerland, we're over 150 people. But when it comes to doing what I do, there's not too many, because it never was needed. Hands-on. Yeah. So the gentleman who's helping me out tonight, his name's Trey. He came from the Richemont Group, and he'd been in the industry for a decade, right? And he believed in the mission. I need more Treys, and there's not too many of them out there. But what I say with anybody who works in my showroom is I can teach you to sell a watch. I truly believe I can teach anybody to sell a watch, but I can't teach somebody to be a good person. And so for me, that matters more than anything, because there's a humanity within Christopher Ward that is sometimes lost because we're just online for the majority of the customers.
Yes, respect. Yes. So let me ask you this. People say, if there's any caveat with Christopher Ward, y'all making too many damn watches. I'm not one of those people, but I did make a video questioning, is that the route? Is that the best route? Because you guys are hot. So if you dropped a new Loco and we're still developing and it's a pre-order and people just waiting to see them and get them in the wild, should you drop 1 or 2 or 3 watches or a couple of collaborations between then? For that point of perspective, you say what?
So we've always done it, but we're just a bit louder now. So Christopher Ward, because we're not contained to a 9-foot showcase in your local retailer, the internet's a big place. We also, listen, we've got some models that the Aquitaine recently went away. It wasn't because it wasn't a great seller. It's because there's the next collection coming. We are always quite fluid. So what I tell my team is that you've got to not think of this as a traditional brand. We're very, very uniquely sold. We're very uniquely marketed. But it always is going to be, what was the next watch? What's the last watch? I'll tell you in a personal opinion, though, what I have loved is the first watches that I bought was a 12 in titanium, and I bought the bronze Trident I talked about. The one I bought after that was a model that was discontinued that had the old Christopher Ward logo.
Oh, it's Christopher Ward.
Yeah, but it had our lineage within it. What is lovely right now is that even if there's something that's 2, 3 to 5 years old and it does go away, what I always tell everybody is that that's because Sealander, great example of the pistachio there, that was our best-selling collection, and we discontinued the entire thing for 1 week to bring out the whole new Sealander, because we're always evolving and maturing. The last ones weren't bad watches, but that was the last. Yeah, you can't think about someone's last song as the one that you're only going to hold on to them for. You want to look at the next album, right? Yes. You want to hear what's better and fresh. Now, you can always look back at the last ones and think, actually, that's my favorite song, and I'll always love it. The analogies are all there. Yeah. But we have, 350 million people in this country alone. Yeah. In the UK, that was always our biggest market. Now it's here. And I would say 9 out of 10 people on that street have no idea who Christopher Ward is. So why just say this is what it has to be?
Yeah, I love that. I always want to piggyback, and my bad. Thank you. Sometimes people be like, hey, you over talk Rod. My bad.
Hey, you welcome me to the show. Now you got talking. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just super interested and fascinated, because I do agree that Christopher Ward's sweet spot is still between $1,000 to $2,000, right? Listen, the manufacturers, all of those guys, everything is going away. Buildings burning down. You got to pick 3 watches that you get saved so they can be the prototypes of what Christopher Ward is. What 3 watches are you picking?
It's a good question. I would do a Trident because number 1, and bronze or steel, whatever, I do think that the Christopher Ward secret sauce is our case making. We're not beholden of a design that's 50, 60 to 100 years old, which is what a lot of the heritage brands do. They want it to feel like the old brand, but bring in modern finishings, right? We don't. So the light catcher case that's within our Trident makes that what you don't look at your watch like this. You look at it while you're holding your driving. True. You look at it when you're holding your old fashioned, or you're holding your partner's hand. That is when you see the light of a watch. And the Trident, the Sealander has that, but Trident, that's one. Secondly, Bel Canto. Because that little bit of magic made Christopher Ward what it is. Yes. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but that thing, when it dings, it makes you smile.
It's in the D, right?
It's in the chime of D.
Chime of D.
And I'd be hard pressed to say it between the True, the Loco, and the 12X. Okay. But I do believe that we do need one of our in-house movements, because we've got 3 now, and we were the British brand in 50 years to do that. So
Hear, hear.
Come on.
I would say the Loco, because you've got the architecture of the 12, which was a huge part of us.
Yes.
But you do have the infrastructure, you do have the know-how, you've got the Swiss nous in there. So they're my three.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful one.
Love you, love that.
Oh yeah.
I like this color.
yes. That's why I said they have flavors.
Yeah,
Whatever you
absolutely.
need, there's something for you for sure. I wanted to ask you, going back to Reddit, one of the
I do love Reddit, by the way.
Yes, a lot, yes. True way to, gauge like true sentiment beyond the, adulation that comes like on social media. I wanted to ask you though, like there's been criticism around like Christopher Ward around like servicing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, do you think that, could be attributed to maybe the brand just growing at an exponential pace? Or now that we have the, director of the Americas here, you can just address it head on and we'll just put it to bed.
So I joined the brand. First thing I did is I wanted to kind of get a lay of the land. I spoke to everybody in the teams, Switzerland, England. I spoke to a lot of my watch friends. I've been in the industry a long time. Red bar communities like yours that are growing. And then I went on Reddit. And what I saw was a whole mess of never being answered. And it's not about the fact that they weren't answered for a particular problem on that particular post. One guy could say, oh, my watch is broken and I'm having a hard time getting an email back. So I just jumped in there. I was brand director, I had a little promotions in there, which is nice. My name's Mike, brand director. I'm sorry. No one had done that. Not like they didn't want to, we just didn't have the infrastructure. And it was just a case of seeing somebody go, oh, somebody's here and you're listening. Everybody's listening. It's just about having the right amount of people to do it. What I also found, I use the analogy all the time, is my mum back in the day in England, you go over the garden fence talking to the neighbor starts with a negative connotation. That chat was miserable for hours.
Yes.
But if she said, oh, I love the weather, it was light, it was airy. Now, you got to follow that mood. Now, we didn't help with the negative chats. So all I would say is, hey, I'm Mike. What can I do to help you? Here's my email address, and I've got you.
Yes.
And it was just a case of firing off to the right people. We've now got a head of customer service in the UK who cares. Her name's Lindsay. She worked with some of the biggest retailers in the UK, and she has helped everybody in that company see what I'm seeing over here. And that only comes through communication. So Reddit, the Facebook posts, Instagram, everyone says don't read the comments. Read the comments, learn from the comments.
That's how
don't
you
get
know.
offended by the comments.
Get offended, yeah.
And that's what we're doing right now. So I do think that servicing has to always be better.
Yes.
But I do know, and this is the God's honest truth, is that our fixed rate of repair is quicker than anybody else.
Yes.
What we have to be is better at communicating that to the world. Because I do believe that we hold grudges as a community. So if you find a watch from 2000 and blah, blah, and it's been sitting in a drawer, you go, I didn't wear that because it broke. And you're mad at us for 10 years.
Yeah.
Let us help you now.
Exactly.
Because maybe you can see what Christopher Ward is. Because over the last few years, the collection you see in front of you and what you'll see tonight is not what it was 5 years ago. So imagine what it was 20.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot.
If something happens with the True GMT, like I'll send the email. I'm going to call you.
Yes, fine.
I'm going to call you. That's the benefits of knowing the guy, right?
But what we do though, is that all servicing is done in the UK.
Yep.
But so if you open a service center in Ohio, the first watch that comes in is going to need a part from England or Switzerland, right? So we're controlling everything in one spot whilst we're understanding what the next bit's going to be.
Yep.
But if something goes wrong with your True GMT, call me. But
Call you.
You will fill out a form. We will send you a free label. You do not pay for anything. We sell differently, so we service differently. We've got a 5-year warranty. But loads of people don't know that bit because we just see what's the first thing that you read on Reddit, right?
Yes. Yes. Well, let's get into it. We have some heaters on the table here.
yeah.
If you could just walk us through. So you got 7 pieces here. Just walk us through what we have here.
Sure. So this is the 42 millimeter Trident. When anybody walks into my showroom to the shows and says, what's Christopher Ward? We've got in sales that kind of we've got that need sometimes to want to sell the best, be it gold, be it in-house movements. For me, if you understand the basis, you can grow up to what this is.
I got you.
But I do believe that if you look through the casing there, that light catcher case, you get a chance to see everything we're about. Ceramic underlay, sapphire overlay, credible loom, really good legibility, matching color date wheels. Every single one of our bracelets is a quick release. Every single one of our bracelets has a micro adjust. Things like this are really cool to show, and that is $1,400. We do that in 3 colors, in now 4 sizes, and then you've got offshoots, which can be in bronze or titanium. You can go up to a SW300 with more power, chronometer certified, or drop a little bit down and lean into color with the Reef collection. But Trident has been part of Christopher Ward for the longest time.
It's amazing.
But
It's
the
a
value
really
is crazy.
Really good value. That's exactly what I was going to say. I remember I'm mad that I missed out on this when it was right at 1,000.
I know, it's gone up a tiny bit.
But I'll be honest, it's worth a $300 to $400 increase. I mean, like, to be quite frank, like the finishing on this case, I love the way that it hugs.
You see what I mean?
It hugs the wrist.
Yep.
And the way that it curves down on the lug, like it's.
But I talk about this a lot in the sales environment. We've got guys who walk in with 5.5-inch wrists, and they're like, "What do I do? I've got to go straight to a 38mm or a 40." I said, "Wait, let me show you 42.
Yeah.
They might not be right, and I'm not trying to push 42, but let me show you how the case works and how it sits and fits and wraps around the wrist. As long as I've got options, my whole outlook is that I think every Christopher Ward will fit you. You got to find out if it suits you, which I think is a really nice way to look at it. Shall I help you there?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all right. They got to look after the goals.
Oh my God. And that's the thing though. Before we move on, why don't you guys do gold?
What's Christopher Ward's business model? The power of 3. Whatever the watch costs to build, we go by 3. What's gold doing?
Oh, another down.
So how do you price it fairly?
Yeah, but what about even like gold plated, gold PVD? You
Not
got
right.
into it?
Not right. We did one watch a couple of years ago with a 12 called the Halo, and it had a gold bezel. It was awesome. A little bit of red in it as well. I just don't think we were ready to tell that story just yet as well. So there's a few things. What I think we are doing well, as we'll get into, is movements as well. And materials don't just have to be precious. Yeah. So we're having some fun with it. But that's the Trident.
Yes.
The next one, there you go. The next one would be Sealander. We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Sealander has and always will be very, very much a favorite within Christopher Ward. But GMT was always the way. A lot of people would look at it and go, "Oh, it's Explorer 2." It had a white dial with an orange GMT hand. Yeah. If you're going to nod to somebody, nod to the greatest.
Thank you.
But if you are going to make it your own, you've got to have a little bit of something about you. So we discontinued the entire line, like I said, and the conical crown, the finishing of the steel, our markers, our logo, the legibility, and this for under $1,600 is pretty hard to touch. This is the three-handed version, and we were one of the first brands in the world to use the new SW200-2 movement.
A lot of my friends, I'm not a movement monster, but a lot of my friends are movement monsters. They were super excited about that. They want to see like exactly how this like fare over time, and they were glad that you guys were one of the first people to actually
we're really
use
proud of it.
Now, this gets a lot of OP love.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I'll be honest with you, man, the finishing on this is like.
But also,
and the bracelet's flat.
Think of it this way, right? Yeah. If you look at Sealander and then you look at people looking at OP, looking at Explorer 2s, looking at these big boys out there, they are a different animal to the rest of the industry. They are almost half of the entire watches sold in the world is that one company, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We also know that for this price, we can be a placeholder for somebody waiting for that watch. We can also be for that customer, that collector, who could never think about spending 12 to 15 grand.
Yes.
So why don't you get a watch with pure quality, but doesn't have to have that? And we know where we are.
And it's not like, it's not a homage. Like,
no, this is Chris. I do think in the past some of Christopher Ward's pieces were paying homage, but we weren't doing a knockoff. Yeah. We were giving our own spin. I think now we've got our own DNA to make it feel like a Christopher Ward. So
I love that.
Yeah,
your face here. That's the consort. Beta is 3, which is after York Beta Senior, who's a huge part of our history, and then consort. And also you got the micro just in that clasp as well.
The consort when I'm looking at it on his wrist. I'm getting
jealous of it.
I'm getting jealous of it. Is that what size is that diameter?
39.
39?
39.
And Goldilocks size.
Just
perfect.
Right. Well said. Well said.
Yeah,
this is perfect.
It's nice.
You keep it on for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got the 12. Now, if you think back, I've been in the industry a long time. I'm getting on in my years now, and one of my heroes I got to meet very early on in my my watch journey was just going into Basel and seeing all the greats from Rolex and Patek, and I sat next to Gerard Genta.
Are you serious?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and I was working for a very, very small watch brand, and he said, "I like your watch," and it was this really big 47mm moon phase. No one would really have heard of it, but I said, "Oh, I love what you've done, Mr. Genta."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I make Zimiki." I said, "Oh, I know you made them. You made everything that was good. including
Yeah.
anything that was integrated and beautiful. And so when we came out with the 12, it was in the same time as Tissot had revolutionized entry level into the PRX world with integrated watches.
Yes.
The greats like Chapek were there. You've got Hublot doing what they've done, with Audemars doing what they do, Bulgari doing what they've done. This is not a new thing.
Right.
What we ended up doing though is you came in at a price point at under $2,000 in titanium, just over $1,000 in steel. This was the best selling, and still is probably one of the best selling models we've ever made.
Absolutely.
Because you get pure luxury in a really traditional 1970s onward fashion. This changed the game for Chris Ford. It was just after Bel Canto. This thing was fire.
And it's so light.
That's
it's
the
so
grade
clean.
2 titanium, yeah.
Yeah, so one of my first watches in the game is like many of you out there, was the PRX.
Yeah, so you know what I mean.
So
yeah.
I know what I mean. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this is light years ahead. And there's nothing that the PRX hate, I think it's forced. But
Agreed.
but the people who knew that I was like really diving into watches, they told me to check this watch out.
Yeah.
They said like the finishing on it, looking at the like once again, the Christopher Ford casing, like you see the light shining, the polishing, the finishing. And when you see like the dial up close, it's not comparable.
It's
in
not.
my personal
And I
opinion.
say that with love as someone who knows
Absolutely.
people who work within the Swatch Group and work for
Yeah,
Tissot.
absolutely.
But I do know that Tissot was that right thing at the right time for many
Oh,
collectors.
perfect.
But then it's the same thing when you get into your Seikos. What's your next jump up in dive watch? It was tough, right? What's the next thing after that? When you can really be affordable or attainable. For the integrated watches, the brands I've just said are the best, they're royalty.
Absolutely.
And we come in and mess the game up in the nicest way.
which I love though, because you can't get that look in this price point.
I think so. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Like and you guys literally, I mean, with the open case back, I think a lot of my friends who have this watch absolutely love it. They tell me I should get this first. I've been looking at the pistachio. I've been looking at you guys got like a baby blue version of it.
I got one in there to show.
See,
We're
look,
all
look
right.
at it. He's doing his job, man.
I got my
love
trench
it.
coat with the watches hanging out the side.
So there's a model, and I don't want to get it wrong. It's the C60V without the second hands.
Oh, you're talking, no, it's the 660.
The 660.
So it's still part of the 12, yeah. So that's
Super
modified
thin.
answer, yeah.
Super thin.
That's Selita, sorry.
Super thin. How is that doing?
You'll see tonight, actually, when you've got your idea of what the 660 is, I'm going to get the old DLC blacked out version. It's cool, fits under a jacket. But when you see the white with those high polished finishing, you got the green, unique color.
Yeah.
It's, again, there's all the flavors under the sun, right?
All the
But
flavors.
you can see real watchmaking chops in there because the Selita movement we've modified gives it a huge amount of power.
Absolutely.
And the presence at 38 is, again, that Goldilocks sun. It's good as gold. There you go, my friend.
been real.
Then we walk, yeah, it's been real. Say goodbye for a minute. But then when I get to the bottom row here,
Yeah.
this is when everything really became quite special. We have, since 2011, had our own module. And that started off with the jump hour. We had our own moon phase. That's gone through, we had our own GMT, world timer, which was great. That's not part of the collection now. And everything's kind of evolved and moving. And even recently, we only just brought the jump hour back. That's our 5th version of the jump hour since 2011. But it was, and they all did great. And like I always say, Chris Ford always did great in all those years. But then the Bel Canto came out and it changed everything. So this is a Selita base, but it was based off of that jump hour feel where that bass train could pull the hour mark around quite aggressively. But we have a gentleman called Frank, who's a Swiss-German gentleman, and he was with his wife. She picked up his jump hour, turned the crown, saw the hour jump, and it was her who said, wouldn't it be great if it made a noise? And that was when his mind exploded within his brain. And that's when the Bel Canto started to work. So if I got my little mic here, might be able to hear
I hear it hit, yeah.
the chime of D.
It's like satisfying, right?
And that is an
had
hour
no-
striker.
That was
That's
an hour
striker,
chime.
Yes.
But to do that and have that beautiful finish. Now we've got the guilloche finishing. Before it was just the sunburst. Yeah. But that first dial that was a beautiful, beautiful deep blue should have took a year to sell. Well, in our minds, and it was a couple hours. So Mike France, in all of his years of wisdom, said, let's show the picture of the green. And then that sold out in under an hour.
Yeah.
And so that's the time to grow up, like I said. And the funky thing, and this kind of goes back to all the things we've talked about with Reddit and conversations. At that point, we also launched the 4 different colors. We had a year and a half wait list at one point, and that wasn't good enough. So when I joined, I went to Switzerland to see why it wasn't good enough. And it was because this wasn't an American favorite. This wasn't an English favorite. This was a worldwide watch. And people who bought serious, FP Journe, MB&F, they were going, I've got a watch, I've got our chime that I can have and I can wear it. There's enough luxury to not just say it's a cheaper version. Yeah. It's a little bit of watch engineering. It's a bit of magic. It's
$20,000 plus watches with a lot of other brands.
Well, if I always say, like, if that was the Audemars Piguet Bel Canto, that'd be a $70,000.
Yeah,
but I say this.
That's what I'm saying.
You say this to love with an AP or any of these brands is that they've got what it costs and they've got the margins built into.
Sure.
People deserve to get paid for the job they do,
Absolutely.
right? Marketing or sales.
Yes.
What a lot of those brands have is the perceived value of luxury. We all know what a jacket or a shoe or a car costs.
Yes.
But it's that luxury tag or what it goes within it to give it that extra bit of a va-va-voom. We don't have that. So whatever it costs to build, increase by 3. Even if it is an hour chime, a sonnery or passage. So this thing changed everything. And I'm so proud of it. And then obviously we talked about the Loco being last year. But between this collection, you get a little bit of everything here.
A little bit of everything. Now, one thing that I want to ask you that you're not going to answer, but I'm going to ask you because they would tell me I would not be real or be me if I didn't ask you.
I think you're doing all right so far.
Thank you. So, you guys are developing the in-house movements, and I'm like really proud to see that. So the next watch, are you guys going to be moving towards a $10,000 watch, and is that going to be a chronograph? In-house movement.
Would never say.
I know.
Yeah.
But there's nothing anywhere close to $10,000 in our future. Wow. And if it was $10,000, it would be $3.5–4 grand for us to make, right? So you're looking at a real special piece there to do that. And so for us, when you're doing what you're doing here, I think, yes, you're going to have those comments. Are you stretching? Are you going too high? We're always going to try and be the most attainable luxury watch in the market, no matter what it does. What I do know for the rest of this year is we're not done. Obviously, we're here in the middle of summer. We've got some really good special core pieces to come. Do Christopher Ward right, but we do have some special moments this year still to come.
Well, that's beautiful. I don't know anymore. Do you have any more that you want to ask them before we get this party started tonight?
We're ready to get the party started for sure. So, man, Mike, it's been great.
Thank you
it's
for
been
giving
great
me a
having
chance
you
to
on
chat
the
to you.
show, definitely. And before we conclude, we want to just give you the floor. Like, what should the people know about Christopher Ward?
Well, ChristopherWard.com. Just go and have a look at it. Join the socials that are in there, the usual stuff. But we've got 4 showrooms now.
Yes.
It's the first time. This is the big part of the plan which I've had, which I'm more proud of than anything. The events will always be my bread and butter, and I'll always come. But to have a home in Dallas, just outside of DC, New York City in Soho, and in Chicago, they're the first 4. We just opened Chicago a few weeks ago, so we've got a home in the Midwest.
Congratulations.
And little hint in the tip, we're going to look left. We're going to look left for the next one, number 5 in North America, which is great. But they are the most special places, not because you get opulence or you get a bottle of Cristal when you walk in. You get real people who care about educating you in the brand.
Community.
You'll have an hour in there with some of the nicest people you could ever meet in the watch industry. So if you're around and you're in any of those cities, find the event, find the showrooms, and come and see us, and we'll try to never let you down.
And where can they find you?
So I'm you throw a smoke signal up, I'll answer it. But Instagram's probably primary, Mike Pearson 6. I'll always try and be the voice and the face of the brand that I can be.
Yes.
But yeah, send me a DM. I'll always send it through.
Great. Thank you. Well, like I said, thank you again.
Pleasure.
For Mike Pearson, Rio the Watcher, Rod Dye signing off.